Hello, gorgeous souls. How are you today? So, episode 3 of the podcast. So, we are live here on Facebook. So, if and when you are jumping on the live with me on Facebook, please do say hello. Drop me your favourite emoji in the comments. And if and when you're catching the replay here on Facebook, #replay. If you are catching me on YouTube on the replay, then drop me some love in the comments. Let me know whereabouts in the world you are tuning in from, especially if you are a new listener or watcher, wherever you're watching, listening, whatever. And if you subscribe to the podcast, amazing. If you are listening in from there, please do let me know. I would love to hear from you. Make sure wherever you find me, whether it's on the podcast platform, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on socials, be sure to be connected with me on all platforms because I share different types of content on different platforms. So obviously the podcast is just the podcast. So if you love an audio binge, subscribe to the podcast. You can then have a private app where you open up the podcast and you can just listen to all the audios uninterrupted, no noise, nothing in the way, no notifications, all of that. It's the podcast. And you can find the link to my podcast in the links in my bio on Facebook and on Instagram as well. And then obviously YouTube, if you love watching a video, I upload my podcast videos up to YouTube, so you can head there to check this out. And then of course, wherever you are, just follow me on the socials. Come and follow me on the socials. I love to hang out here on social media. I post regularly on both Instagram and on Facebook, most days to be honest, and then also in my stories as well. So it's amazing to have you here for episode 3. I wanted to dive straight in today to the subtle ways in which women give away their power. They outsource their power, they give away their power. And it's these subtle ways. And it's, to be honest, I want to just focus on one main one, because this is the one main one that I would focus on with my clients. I'll mention a few. But my hope is today is if you feel like you are playing small, if you feel like you're not in your power currently, as in making decisions, making moves, whether that's in your life or in your business, and this podcast episode is for you. Because you can find yourself when you are diluting or giving away your energy and your power, you feel depleted, you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, you're in that place. You will know it because you will feel it. You will feel out of alignment, you will feel overwhelmed, you will feel frustrated, you'll feel irritable. There'll be something about you at the moment that is just not quite right. And a lot of the time, a lot of people won't know that that's the case, because you'll probably carry on through life or through business with a smile on your face, getting on with it, maintaining positivity, but on the inside, you're not feeling it. And this can be the reason. Now, women subtly giving away their power, saying yes to things when you really want to say no, is a big one. So I want you to ask yourself currently, are you saying yes to things when actually it's not for you? I covered this in December inside of my membership with my members in there, because obviously December, the C word, as in, that can be a busy time of year for so many people. And you can find that you're saying yes to things that you just really don't want to say yes to. In business, that can look like going along with a certain strategy because a business coach has said it's the next best thing, or it's the next best trend, or you must do this in order to grow your business. And yet you absolutely loathe the strategy. It's just I really don't want to do this strategy, but that's what I need to do in order to hit my income goals or create the business that I want. I had a client come to me working one-to-one with me at one point, and she had left her corporate role and she felt so just drained in that environment, in the corporate space, and she just wanted freedom. She wanted to spend more time with her kids. She'd got 3 kids, and she said, my goal is to hit £10,000 a month. That's my income goal. And she'd come to me feeling like this, exhausted, overwhelmed, just it can't be this hard. Why does it have to be this hard? And she'd worked with a business coach the previous year, and she'd applied all the things. And I'm not dissing business coaches at all, but what I'm saying is you have to do what feels right for you in your business. Same in your life, same in parenting, same in whatever, your relationship. What is it that you want? What action aligns with what you want? There will obviously be areas where there are things that aren't a vibe, and you do have to do certain things, but for the most part, it's looking at, for the most part, where can you be in alignment most of the time? And so this client had worked with a particular coach who was very sort of bro marketing, very pushing funnels, reaching out, cold DMing. It was very much like getting on sales calls and then having a high ticket offer. And she worked really, really, really hard for months and months and months and months. And she hit the 10K goal and she felt exhausted. And when she got to the 10K goal, rather than feeling happy and lit up and excited about it and proud, she felt so drained, depleted and fearful, because she thought, if it's taken me doing that to hit the 10K, I don't know if this is what I want. And I know so many women that feel like that, especially when they transition from, you know, a corporate role or obviously working and having a salaried job, and like they want freedom, they want to shift into, you know, the online space, building a product-based business, a service-based business, a coaching business, you know, whatever business it is. Online is an amazing tool, like social media, funnels, sales pages, all the things. Like the internet's obviously a huge tool, massive tool to grow your business. And when you first step into that, when you've been under the umbrella of a corporate business or company or brand for a long time, and then you step out there into the world on your own, it's just you. And you are the boss. You are the CEO. You're the one who has to, you know, make the decisions and make the moves. And when you are new to it, obviously it's about looking out there to see, you know, not necessarily how am I going to do this, but what strategies are available? What is out there? What are the different ways in which I can grow this business? And it's at this point especially, and same with life goals, that you have to trust yourself. And this can be the hardest thing for women who have always been really told what to do and when to do it, especially in a professional role. So stepping into business and then looking out there and like, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do. If it doesn't feel aligned and it's draining you, it's not always the best, not the best way. It's not the only way either. And so this client came to me and obviously she explained everything to me. And I was like, I'm pleased to say that you don't have to do it that way. You know, for me, I encourage my clients to build a business in alignment with what it is that they want. And for her, that was having flexibility, time freedom, being able to spend time with her kids. And most importantly, it was about her being able to be herself. But she was also scared to be herself online, because she thought she had to look and be a certain way or perform a certain way or speak a certain way in order to create a business online. And so for her, giving away her power in this instance was that she had the belief that she had to become or be someone else or look a certain way in order to create results in her business. And because she had that belief, this is where your beliefs are so powerful in terms of how they drive your thoughts and behavior. Because she had that belief, she looked a certain way online, but behind the scenes was completely different. It was affecting her life behind the scenes because she was trying to show up on the front end of her business in a certain way at certain times, taking calls, doing a lot of work. And she was just like, I'm tempted to just go back to corporate because that feels like the easy option, even though that's not what I want to do. And so that's why we worked together. And we really pivoted things for her. And it was all about, like, my message to her is, it was, what is it that you actually want to do? Like, who are you? What do you really want to do? Let's bring that forward. Let's bring that forward. Trust yourself. So giving away your power in the first instance, especially as a woman, is in conformity. Where do you find that you conform in your life and in your business in order to be accepted, in order to be validated, in order to feel safe? Where do you sort of shrink yourself? Notice the environments in which you feel you've got to change something about you. Notice where you try and be someone maybe that you're not. Notice where that happens. Now, in certain like situations and environments, we have to adapt. We have to bring certain elements of our personality forward, or we have to hold some of it back in certain situations and environments. That's normal. But when it's in your day-to-day life, and when it's in your business, if you are here growing a business, that's where you are giving away your power. Because you actually get to decide how you want your life to be behind the scenes, and also how you grow your business. There are a million strategies out there. The most powerful one is you being you. So where are you giving your power away? In conformity and feeling like you need to look a certain way or be a certain way in order to be accepted, in order to succeed. And again, whether this is personally or professionally, that's the first area that I want you to really think about. And, a lot of my clients will think about it, talk about it, we'll talk about it on calls, or just grab a journal, grab a notebook and pen, journal it out. Ask yourself this question. And then it's looking for ways that in life and business, like, what is it that I actually want and what action aligns with that life? For example, for this client, this particular client in her business, the course that she wanted to do was completely different to what she'd been doing. So I said, you need to get online and you need to start talking about it. That's what you need to do. And that terrified her, because she's like, well, what if no one watches? What if I go live and no one logs into the video? I said, that doesn't matter, because this is you and your vision and you building your brand. So it's not about people watching. This is about your commitment to your vision, to your brand, to your business. Because if you don't believe in you from the get-go and you aren't taking the aligned action from day one, then you cannot expect other people to believe in you, to trust you, and to invest in you and what you're offering. You cannot. You have to be the one to lead it. And this is what I help my clients with, is helping them to lead themselves in their life, in their business. Do the thing. Do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. Get clear on what the thing is, do the thing. Get clear on what the thing is, do the thing. Because it's this that creates the results. And also, from an energetic perspective and manifestation, this is where co-creation happens. And this is where we manifest more than what we ever thought possible. It's all about going into self, looking where we're playing small, looking where we're giving away our power, and then taking the action to align with what it is that we want. Now, the second way in which women can subtly give away their power is in this one statement. And you may be guilty of this statement. I know I've been guilty of this statement. This statement is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, for example, and we'll use example client that I've just spoken about. So for example, she had the goal where I want to hit 10k months in my business. That's what I want. So I said, great. What is it that you want to do? What's the vision that you have? What action aligns with that? And we set the action plan. And then she was going live on her Facebook. Now, if she'd have said, like, got up on the day and thought, well, on yesterday's live, no one really watched, no one really plugged in, no one's really commenting on my stuff on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, don't matter what platform. And then it came to, she'd made the commitment where she's going to post every single day on her socials, or she's going to go live. It's in that moment where she reflects on what people have or haven't said. So the comments, the likes, the shares, and there's nothing there. And she goes, it doesn't matter if I don't post today, because no one's bothered anyway. In life, that could be, you've scheduled the workout, for example. You've said to yourself, beginning of the year, I'm going to start going to the gym, I'm going to start working out, I'm committed to doing 3 workouts a week. You've been once, it gets to the second round, you've had a really crap day, and it's just like, time is running out, it doesn't matter if I don't go today. I can go tomorrow. Now, this is a subtle thing. Like, well, I'll not post today, it doesn't matter. I'll not go to the gym today, I'll not do the workout, it's inconvenient, I'll do it tomorrow. It doesn't matter. This is where you break trust with yourself all the time without even realizing. And it's these subtle ways in which you break trust with yourself and you give your power away to yourself. We can give our power away to other people all of the time, like in the first instance of saying yes when really we want to say no to something, like when someone requests something. Or like, for example, signing up with the coach and realising this isn't an aligned investment, but I need to go along with what they're saying because they know best. Even though inside it doesn't feel right. The action doesn't really align with what it is that you want. And so in this instance here, this is like you giving your power away to yourself. And in order for things to really change and for you to take your power back, it starts with the seemingly insignificant things in your life that you just go, it doesn't matter, or I'll do it tomorrow. I was having a conversation with one of my best friends and business best friends as well. We talk about business all the time. And we were having a conversation about this a few weeks ago, and she was telling me about like some of the work she's doing with her clients at the moment. And we mentioned about like building that self-trust and how it's the subtle things that we go, it doesn't matter, because in the grand scheme of things, like no one's going to get injured, no one's going to know, like it's not going to affect anyone or anything. It's just this tiny little thing and it doesn't even seemingly move the needle. Energetically, it does. And it was when I started to realise this that things really started to change for me personally, when it came to me really understanding like personal power, self-leadership, and like really creating the life that I wanted, the business that I wanted, and creating the results that I wanted as well, and co-creating, you know, manifesting things. It's every time that I've set an intention for myself, and every time I've said, this is what I'm going to do because this action aligns with what it is that I say that I want. Me saying it is not enough. You saying what you want is not enough. You can say it all day long. You can say, well, I want this and I want that and I want to manifest this. This is what I'm going to do. Words are cheap. Words mean nothing in the realm of manifestation. Words mean nothing in the realm of co-creation. And words mean nothing. They're very empty when they're not backed with aligned action. Now, what me and my bestie said to each other, and I said to her, I was like, the crazy thing is, because, you know, I had this realization years ago. It's like probably 5 years ago now, where life behind the scenes was just all over the place. It was chaotic. I would let myself down all over the place, and yet I was trying so hard on the front end, like on social media, to show up and to be in alignment and to be positive and to be all of these things. And it was like I was trying to grow my business ultimately, and I was doing all the things that I've talked about, trying to look a certain way, be a certain way, professional, all of that. And yet behind the scenes, I didn't feel like the behind the scenes didn't match the front. And that's not authentic for me. And this is why in the beginning of growing my business, like I'd have the odd client, but it wasn't consistent. And that's because I wasn't consistent. I actually had a problem with the word consistency. If this is you, if you have a problem or an issue, or it makes you go, ugh, the word consistency, then please let me know. Because I used to be exactly the same. I used to hate the word consistency. And the reason that I hated it is because I struggled so much being consistent with anything. All of the time, as soon as it got hard and when it was inconvenient, I would say to myself, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I don't do it. It doesn't matter if I leave that. I'm too tired. You know, I'm a single mum, 3 kids at home. Like, let's 5-6 years ago, like they were all sort of early to mid-teens at that point. You know, life was hectic. A lot of energy happening. If I could write anything off, I would. I'm building a business. I'm working a job at the same time. It wasn't convenient to do certain things every day. Tired. But I started to notice where I would break promises to myself, tiny ones. And that meant that if I was, and I'm going to give some examples in a minute, but if I wasn't keeping my promises to myself, then that meant that there was no room for expansion. There was no room for more in my life because I wasn't even doing sometimes the bare minimum. And so it started from like ground zero. And the very first promise that I made to myself, and me and my friend laughed about this a few weeks ago because she was having the exact same conversation with her group clients, was that the one action that led to me like really getting my shit together was taking my makeup off before I went to bed. Taking my makeup off before I went to bed. It wasn't posting on socials every day. It wasn't working out all the time or consistently. It wasn't like doing certain things around the house or, running certain programs or anything like that. I like really stripped it back. And this is what I do with my clients. Like, let's look at all the things that you're avoiding or not doing. The seemingly small things that you say don't matter actually do. Like, for example, I worked with a one-to-one client. She came to me and just said, listen, life's a fucking mess. Life's a shit show behind the scenes. She was running a 6-figure business. She wanted to grow and expand. She wanted to grow another business alongside that. She wanted to create success in that other business. But she was trying to focus on the other business and building that business and trying to ignore what was happening behind the scenes in life. And for me, I'm just like, right, we need to check in. And for me, it's important. It all matters here. It all matters. Let's go into you and your life. And basically, where you're giving your power away, where you're playing small, what is really going on. And this is very vulnerable for people because a lot of the time, especially on the front end of social media, life's the highlight reel. People don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. And my desire for my clients is for their life behind the scenes to be better than it is on social media. Better. And so this client was just saying, this is what I want. And then there was this whole mess happening. And I was like, I know you want to focus on this. I know you want to focus on this business and you want to be successful here. But that is not going to come while ever you're ignoring this. And so the work that we had to do was looking at, how she spent her time, all the ways in which she was letting herself down, all the ways she was saying, oh, it doesn't really matter. I'll deal with that when I'm successful, I'll deal with all that mess. And I'm like, you will not be successful in what you want to create here while that is like that, because your foundation isn't right. It's a mess and it's shaky and it's a shit show. I am honest in my calls, with love, because that's what's required. And so we looked at things that she needed to change. One of those things was drinking too much. She was drinking too much alcohol in the week as a form of relaxation, as a form of connection with other people, out of habit. And she was like, yeah, I've put weight on and I know I need to lose weight and I know that I need to do this exercise. And I'm like, why are we making this an eye roll? Let's make a commitment. What it is that you want, this action aligns with it. So that's what we do. And so that's how we rebuilt things. And in a 3-month period, she turned everything around. I think she lost 2 stone in 6 weeks, us working together, and got the behind the scenes in order. It was hard. And this is the thing, this work, the behind the scenes stuff, isn't always easy. And it's why I do what I do. It's why I offer the different offers that I have, whether it's people plugging into this podcast, whether you're watching the YouTube, being on my socials, or whether you invest in something that I offer, whether it's my membership, my coaching group, one-to-one. Because it's the behind the scenes stuff that does matter. Every time you say to yourself, it doesn't matter, it's as if you're saying to yourself that you don't matter. And you do. You do matter. How you want to experience and feel life and live life matters. Professionally, your business, what it is that you want to create in your business. Professionally, certain achievements financially, whatever that looks like to you, it does matter. It is important. And so I want you to ask yourself on this podcast today, and listening to this, watching this, where are you saying to yourself, oh, it doesn't matter, or I'll do it tomorrow? Now, I'm not saying that I'm perfect at doing all the things all of the time, every day, and ticking all the boxes. But I'm a hell of a lot better than I ever was before I started doing this work. And so are my clients. And it was the little things like taking my makeup off before I went to bed. You know, like when you go up to bed, you've had a really long day, you've been working, you've done business stuff, you've sorted kids out, you've done multiple school runs, you've got kids at different schools, you've done all different school runs, you've sorted out arguments, there's washing, you've done food, you've done tea, you've gone, I'll clear up, so you've done all the clearing up, you've got everything ready before you go to bed, it's late. And you are absolutely like, the last thing that I want to do right now, because I'm so tired, is take my makeup off. Some of you will be listening to this horrified going, what? You don't take your makeup off? I'm like, some days I'd be like, it doesn't matter. I'm tired. And I thought to myself, and this is another thing, I thought to myself, this commitment of taking my makeup off at night, it's no big deal. It really doesn't matter. It's easy to do. So, you know, it feels like a really stupid goal to set for me to say, I'm going to take my makeup off every night. And that be a tick box. But let me tell you, it is those little things that really make a difference, because they're really easy to do. And they're really easy not to do. The question that I will give to you as well is, who are you when no one is watching? Because it's that version of you that I work with. It's that version. The one who says, it doesn't matter. The one who says, I'll do it tomorrow. The one who says, no one will know. No one knows, so it's okay. And the thing is, if no one knows, it's not fine. Because you know. And you will feel it. And it will affect the way that you think. It will affect the way that you feel. It will affect the way you make decisions. It will affect the way that you lead. It will affect the results that you're able to create. Because you'll either be trying to hustle and push and prove yourself in worthiness, in professionalism, like your confidence will be based on performance. Your confidence won't come from your truth. It will come from like being performative. And that's exhausting. I want you to lead from truth. I want you to lead from alignment. And that starts by admitting to yourself, regardless of whether we work together, that starts with you admitting to yourself where you are falling short and giving your power away subtly to yourself. Saying yes to the things you want to say no to. Telling yourself it doesn't matter. And just saying, no one knows, or I'll do it tomorrow. Those tiny, tiny things where you are breaking trust with yourself is the reason why you are not creating bigger things that you know deep down you are capable of creating and making happen. And the thing is, when you go to take the aligned action out here on the front, yet all this is a mess behind the scenes, this on the front here that you're doing is fragile. It takes more effort. You don't feel authentic. And you think you'll catch up to this version of you. You won't. It starts by building the foundations here. And then we serve from overflow. That is the vibe. So my hope with this podcast today is that I have called you out in some way. That I have helped you realise where you are subtly giving your power away. If you want to share with me, you know, the subtle ways in which you are giving your power away, and I'll give some more examples actually of my own, you know, be honest. Subtle ways in which I used to let myself down or give my power away to myself or say it didn't matter. Things like when I'd said I would clean up a certain thing, like we'd eaten dinner, there's me and the kids, that's it, so the house is a mess. I'm going to sort the pots out, put the dishes away in the dishwasher, wipe all the sides before I go to bed. And then I would make the holy mistake of sitting down. After they'd all gone to bed, it's all sorted, it's late, and I'm like, it's like 9 o'clock, I just want to sit down now. And if I sat down, what I would find is the last thing that I wanted to do was go and sort out that mess. And so what I would do is I'd leave it. And then the next day, I'd wake up to a mess and I'd think, I wish I did that last night. And then I'd have to do it the next day. Or it would take longer to do. And it would then snowball into so many other things. Whereas what I found was that if I didn't sit down and I just said to myself, I'm going to go 10 minutes on that. I'm going to give it 10, 15 minutes and I'm going to put all my energy into it just for that short amount of time. See how much I get done. I'd get 10 or 15 minutes in. I'd be nearly finished. I'd have the music playing and I'd get the job done. Or if I sat down, I would give myself like that half an hour just to breathe. If you're a single mum, it's like, just need to not speak to anyone for like half an hour. I'd like give myself like half an hour to just breathe. And then I would say to myself, come on, let's get this done. Because that's what you said you were going to do. So let's do it. Like I said, even now, I am not necessarily perfect at this, but I am aware of it. And so I choose more of the aligned action than not. And when you can start by really stripping things back, so my challenge to you is to look at life at the moment. And if life's in a good place, look at business. What is it that you want? What are the actions that align with what you want? Are you taking those actions? Where are the subtle, small ways in which you are giving away your power? Start here. Make seemingly small, insignificant goals that you think, well, people would laugh at me if they knew that that was my goal. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. This is you and your life. We build from the ground zero and we build up. Because when you start to build trust with yourself, when you start to lead yourself and take the action that you said you were going to do, this is how you build real confidence. And this is how your presence, your truth, whether that is offline or online, you become strong in who you are. You don't feel fragile. You don't feel threatened by people around you because you are living your truth. You are open. You are leading. You are building trust by taking action, by doing what you said you were going to do for you first. And this is how you start to take back your power behind the scenes. The goal is always for life and for business to be better behind the scenes than it is on social media. So if you've got any questions about today's episode, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach out to me on socials if you want to, obviously on Facebook or Instagram. If you want to email me, you can email me at hello@louiseblood.co.uk. And same on the podcast. If you're listening on the podcast, you've got anything you want to share, anything you want to say, then reach out to me on the podcast. Aaron, I am saying hello to you today. Universal truths, yes, life can be a circus. I was listening, actually, this is random. I was randomly listening to Britney Spears the other day, and Circus, her album, Circus, is one of my favourites. And I actually went to see her in concert here in the UK for the Circus tour, so there you go. Aaron, I'm sending you lots of love today. You are never alone. You are never alone. This world is filled with people. Filled with people. And Aaron says, for those listening, he says, I feel alone. And if you are feeling alone, then the work is to connect to yourself and then to connect to something greater than you, something outside of you, and to also connect with people. If you feel alone, ask yourself, what is it that I can do to serve myself today? And then what is it that I can do to serve someone else? or create connection. Whether that is going out and just smiling and saying hello to people, taking your head up from your phone and actually looking around at your environment, looking around at the people, making eye contact with people, saying hello, complimenting someone, just something simple if you're feeling that way. Just to drop that on the end of this podcast, especially if you aren't. So there you go. Right, sending you all so much love. Have an amazing rest of your day. And if you do want to check out like any of the things that I offer in terms of coaching packages, you can head to the link in my bio. I'll drop it in the show notes on the podcast, on YouTube. And if you follow me on socials, just go to the link in my bio and everything is there that you need to know. All right, wishing you an amazing rest of your day. And I'll see you next week for podcast episode 4. Bye.